Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing strategies and best practices in getting more visitors to your websites, converting more leads, and how to retain those patients with a digital marketing system that's done right. So I'm going to be going over the direct access dominance blueprint. This is our plan for maximizing the amount of opportunities that starts with your website to your local SEO to generating more five-star reviews and ultimately establishing your online presence as the most authoritative in your community above all of your other competitors. So if that sounds good, let's dive in. So first, I'm going to be talking about the 5-step direct access patient journey. This is the journey that a new lead, someone that's just seeing your practice for the first time, to them being taken to the treatment plan and then them being happy and leaving your practice in online review. They're referring friends and they're very likely to return for future services. So first, we're going to be talking about how this patient will first find your practice. And usually they're looking on Google search, they're looking on social media, they're going on the online directories, and they're going to first find your practice, right? So before they even do business or they even get service from your practice, they need to first know that you exist. So first, they know you exist, and then the next step is consideration, which they're going to have a bunch of different options to go to, right? For their pain and injury, they can go to like a chiro, they can go to other physical therapists, they can get surgery for it. In this consideration phase, we're going to have to build trust and credibility and position your practice and yourself as the expert in being able to help that prospect achieve their goals, right? So with this, we're going to talk about the content, having reviews, and the copywriting on your website. So next, after they consider your practice, if they choose to go forward, they're going to get converted, which means that they're going to give their contact information, and you can have different modalities in getting that information. You can have it through a live chat, them entering the information on a lead magnet, or them just simply calling your number on your website. And after they schedule that appointment, they come in, you want them to be committed to the treatment plan, right? You want to retain them every single week as long as possible until they finish it. And to do that, we're going to talk about marketing automations to help retain these patients. We're going to talk about constantly nurturing them through your emails, your blogs, your social media posts, and even retargeting. And at the end of this, we're going to be asking for this patient to leave us our online review. So we're going to talk about the best practices into building your online reviews up. So first, you want to get your SEO right, because most of the clicks, over 80%, are going to go to the top 3 local map listing and also the top organic listings. So if you're not here, you're missing a ton of opportunities of free organic traffic. So I would want you to do a quick test and type in physical therapy near me in your city and see where you're coming up for this. Try to do this in incognito mode, because you don't want your cookies to mess with this search result. So yeah, try this in incognito. And then if you're not coming up in the top 3 local map pack or in the organic listings, you can be missing a whole lot of free organic traffic that's coming in. So first, you want to be coming up for when someone's typing in physical therapy near me, or patients searching for physical therapy service or treatment. So things like best physical therapy in their city. So you want to be coming up for that. And also you want to be coming up for specific healthcare conditions or symptoms. So things like if they're typing in back pain relief in their city or neuropathy treatment near me, you also want to be able to come up for those specific conditions as well. So here's our proven formula for getting ranked in the local map pack. First, you want to claim and optimize a Google map listing. You want to get more citations to online directories. What citations are just your name, address, and phone number across the web. You want a consistent way to generate more reviews, right? Because reviews play a big part in your rankings. Usually the people with the most reviews are going to be at the top. So we're going to be talking about a way to generate 5-star reviews. And then you also want to get your on-page and off-page SEO right. So your on-page is everything that incorporates how you structure your website, the meta tags, the title tags in it, the content. You need your content to be optimized for your keywords. And lastly, the off-page SEO. So things like guest posts, social media, and backlinks for your website across high authority domain websites. So first, optimizing your Google My Business listing. So this is going to have a really big impact on your Google rankings. So, and we recommend doing this first just because Google My Business is a Google property, so it's going to matter a lot for the amount of work that you're putting in. So the first thing you want to do is update your photos consistently. We recommend at least 5 real photos of your team, 5 photos of your office, of your building, the inside and the external, what it looks like outside, of your equipment, of your patients, you and your therapist, posing with the patients, and the treatments. So you or your therapist actually performing the treatments on the patient. Like it can be manual therapy images; those usually do pretty well. And you also want to get the fundamentals right. So all the information, such as the website URL, the category, the company name, your number, your address, the description, your hours of operation, and listing every service that you have. You want all of that to be accurate, because if there's any inconsistencies, someone's going to complain. They can give you a 1-star review, and that's not going to be good for your rankings. So make sure you have all of this properly filled out. The third thing you want to do is leverage Google Posts. So Google My Business allows you to post within that listing, and then we recommend doing this at least 2 to 3 times a week. And you can just explain, things about what you guys do, how you do it, just generally giving them benefits and value through these posts. You can give them tips, exercise information, how therapy will help them. Next thing you want to do is also fill out the frequently asked questions in the Q&A section. Obviously, there's going to be some questions that you always get asked, like, what insurance do you take, or how does physical therapy actually help? Feel free to post these questions yourself and also answer them instead of just waiting for someone to ask that question itself. You're going to be able to hit those objections before they even call in. So that's going to be a good thing to do. And the last thing is you also want to be responding to reviews, right? You want to show people that you care about the feedback, and it also allows you to display your own personality by, providing more expertise or showing how caring you are to your patients. So after optimizing your Google My Business listing, you want to get more citations. Again, citations are your name, address, and phone numbers across the web. So first, you want to get listed in the core directories. The core directories are the ones that have the most domain authority, the ones that are the most established, and you want to get listed on here first because it has the most impacts on your rankings, because Google knows that when you get mentions from the most established websites, it's also going to kind of give you a vote in your own authority, since you are being mentioned by these very credible websites that have been around for a long time. So something that we use is Yext to do that. What Yext will do is also make sure that your name, address, and phone numbers is exactly the same for all these citations that are being pushed out on these major directories. But after directories, you also want to get listed in your niche or your industry specific platform. So for healthcare directories, you want to be on there, or physical therapy directories. So things like healthgrades, wellness.com, ZocDoc, you're able to claim a free profile or get listed there. There's usually an option to do that. So you want to get in as many citations as you can. And you also want to be in the local business listings as well. So your local business directories, if you're in New York, you can just type in, New York business directories, and then you get a list of websites where you can also list your practice. So again, doing this is going to help your rankings. So the next thing that's going to really help your rankings is a 5-star review generation system. We see a lot of practices not have a review request system in place. So whenever a patient is happy with their treatment, they're praising the therapist themselves, but that that won't affect your business unless other people can see that praise as well, right? Because here's what's going to happen when you do get those 5-star reviews. It's going to help you in 2 ways. The first is it's going to help your rankings on organic search, and then the second is also going to help your conversions, right? Because who would you rather get serviced by? Someone with 100 5-star reviews or someone that's about 10 to 20? Well, I'm going to choose the one with the 5-star reviews because that person is vetted. That other people have good experiences from that practice. So the best thing you can do for your clinic is to get more 5-star reviews. And the way we do that is we streamline that process very simply for your patients. So one thing that we do is we send a text straight to their phone that has a link to your Google reviews listing for them to just type it in, right? Because usually what happens is these guys are very busy, and you ask them to leave them reviews, but you don't tell them how to do that, they're going to forget, and they're not really going to put in the time to figure that out, right? So making it as simple as just clicking a link from their phone and then typing that in to Google, you're going to make it really easy, and you can even show them in the clinic themselves. So implementing something like this is going to boost your 5-star reviews every single month. So now let's talk about the new SEO ranking factors that Google is looking for. So the main things that they're looking for is the user experience and great content. Before we get into that, let's get all the technical SEO correct and the website structure with the on-page optimizations, right? So first, your website needs to be mobile optimized. What we're seeing is that a lot of people are going to hit your website and it's going to come from a mobile device. So if it's not professionally designed there, or it's not functioning perfectly, or it's not loading as fast as in under 3 seconds, people are going to bounce right off, right? And you're going to lose leads that way. So first, get things like structuring the pages, such as the title tags, the meta description, and H1 tags. So I have an example here. As you can see, it is a very optimized description as well as the title. And we include the physical therapist name, and we include the geolocation. And we have a meta description that sells that click. So you also want to look out for things such as including alt tags to your images. Like your images can have descriptions, and it's better for your rankings when you add that in there. We also want to optimize your content for your keywords, right? So again, including your city in the content, and also including your major keywords like physical therapy and things like that. And the main things you want to do is basically satisfy that user search intent, right? Because when you can satisfy that user search intent, that means they're spending a longer time on your page, they're scrolling more, they're clicking through more, and they're bouncing off less. And in turn, those are your key metrics, and it's going to help your rankings because Google knows that your content is what these patients are looking for. So you also want to make sure that it's all unique content. Don't ever copy your content from somebody else. It's going to hurt your rankings. So here's an example of a knee pain relief page that we have. How we structured the content is first we talk about the background info and the symptoms. So we like to mix a bit of copywriting as well as SEO optimized content within a page like this. So we empathize with their pain. We ask if they're dealing with knee pain, if they're going through these symptoms, and then we're explaining why it hurts and what's happening. And we're also explaining the most common causes, and lastly, what they should do next, which leads to calling your clinic or looking for a local physical therapist, which would be you, right? So for content like this, we usually recommend having longer content than your competitors, So look at your competitors' pages, and generally, if you want to outrank them, you want to build better content than they are. So we like to build pages for each of our main services, like physical therapy. If they have laser therapy, aquatic therapy, if they have manual therapy, we write about that. We also write about the conditions or symptoms that health conditions and symptoms that they might be dealing with. So things like back pain relief or sciatica, things like knee pain relief, things like neuropathy. We'll have pages for each of those conditions. So then whenever someone types those things up, your practice can come up for those keywords. So Google Ads is another way for you to generate more leads. So an example like this, Jag1 is running ads, and you can see they're at the top of all the other listings in terms of the organic search result and also in the Google Maps listing. Using Google Maps is very beneficial because you're only going to get charged whenever someone clicks through, right? So if they're just seeing it and they scroll past it, patient, but they never click it, you never get charged for it. So using Google Ads, you can also control what keywords you're targeting, the location, language types, what times to run it in. And what you'll see is that the leads you'll get with Google Ads are going to be higher quality because the ads are just intent based, which means that these patients are in pain and are already looking for a solution. So now let's talk about ways to increase your conversion rates from people that visit your website to new leads, them giving in their information and asking for more from you. So let's talk about a customer relationship management software that we use. So something like this, a CRM, you're going to be able to basically manage your pipeline, and it's going to include a lot of different tools such as marketing automations. It's going to have two-way texting, so you can see all of the contact that your front desk makes with the patient. You're going to be able to track all the missed calls, and you can be able to record all the calls so you can pinpoint exactly what's going wrong with the calls if there is a scheduling issue. You're also going to be able to see all the reporting related to conversion. So if there's a conversion problem, you can see and measure that to the month before. You can also do patient reactivation campaigns with the email and text campaigns that's on the CRM. You can manage your reputation with it, so all in one place. So it'll pull your reviews from Facebook, it'll pull your reviews from Google, and you can respond to all those people from there. And you're also able to schedule your social media posts from a CRM as well. So other things that can include your conversion rate is including a lead magnet, including a live chat, and retargeting. So we're gonna get into those. We understand that your clinic, the person that's handling your front desk, they have a bunch of different responsibilities, so they can't really call people back in time if they're dealing with something else. So what we'll have instead is text automations, right? This isn't ideal, but it is going to pick up all the gaps that your front desk is missing. So it's going to send everyone, friendly reminders, appointment confirmation reminders of the date, of the time. It's going to notify your clinic whenever somebody calls in or whenever somebody opts into the online form. So your practice, your staff members can get back to that patient in a fast time so they can schedule them. So some other marketing automations that you should be having is if they miss their appointment, they get a text asking, what happened, and if they like to reschedule, they would get a missed call text back. So if a patient calls in and if no one picks up, they're going to give them a text saying something like, "Hey, sorry we missed your call. What can we help you with?" Something like that. And also you can customize your email campaigns, such as with the image in the right. So adding in lead magnets is something that's really important in converting more leads in your website, right? Because what a lead magnet is a free digital asset that you can offer your prospects in exchange for the contact details. So what we'll typically do is have an ebook content on back pain, sciatica, shoulder pain, knee pain, and then we'll have like a section like this on your website where leads can just opt in. So this is going to do two things. We're going to collect their name, their phone number, their email address, and then they'll get more valuable resources, right? Something like tips for healing knee pain or exercises for knee pain. So if you want to get more leads, you can also set up retarding campaigns. How retarding campaigns work is there's a tag that you put on your website, either through Google or a Facebook pixel. And whenever somebody visits your website and they don't call you or they don't opt in and they just leave right after, we have a cookie that will follow them around, and you can actually show an ad to other websites that potential patient is going to visit. So if they revisit their Facebook newsfeed, they're going to see your ad. They go to Instagram, they can still see your ad. If they go on YouTube, they can get retargeted through those through that tag. So we're calling this retarding campaigns, and the click-through rate for these is actually 10 times higher than a regular display ad, and they're 43% more likely to convert just because they've seen you before and they just need another hit to get scheduled. So now that you have all of these people in your email list or in your text list, you want to consistently give value to them. So one way we do that is we will do newsletters and email campaigns to constantly keep giving value, right? So we're repurposing content for different platforms as well. So for example, if you're writing a blog content, right? What you want to do with that blog is actually create posts to Google about it, create it into a social media post, create it into an email campaign. You can repurpose it into a podcast maybe, or even a video and post it on YouTube. The whole idea here is to, once you create one form of content, you want to syndicate it to all of these different platforms to get as much eyes and ears on it as possible. So whenever your patients are opening their phone, they see you everywhere. They see you on their emails, they'll see you on social media. They'll be retargeted with your content again. So there's a statistic, I think, about your patient will probably need 7 to 10 touch points before they decide to get treatment from you. So this consistently giving values and pushing it through all of your mediums is going to do that. So you might be questioning what kind of content you should be writing, right? So when patients ask you questions in the clinic themselves, you might have, there might be a certain pattern to these questions. If you get a lot of these questions, answer the most frequently asked ones. So if they're had a knee replacement and they're asking, how do I get better from that? And you tell them there, you can definitely turn that into a long form content, like a blog, and then just pushing that out to all your other platforms. You can also write about, you should definitely want to be guiding them through the treatment, guiding them through the injury or symptoms or conditions that they're facing. You can talk about past patients who have seen success. So some things that the problems that they were dealing with, what you guys did for them, and then the results that they've achieved. And also just general tips, tricks, or exercises for PT related injuries that is very valuable for your patients as well. So the last thing that we have is reactivating past patients through SMS. And the reason we do it through SMS because it has a much higher open rate than email. So there's a statistic that, over 90% of people actually will see that text versus email, which has an average of a 21% open rate. So one example or a template that you can use with an SMS text campaign is this. The structure is, hey, patient name, which is the custom field that your software is going to push it out to. How are you doing today? This is Andy with whatever physical therapy. I just want to check in to see if you've been dealing with any injuries, issues, or pain that you want an expert therapist to look at. we have 7 limited free paying screens left for this month. Just text back if you're interested and we can schedule in. So what you want to do is do a quick offer and add scarcity to it. So we wrote that, there was 7 left of these limited free paying screens. The offer is a free paying screening. So the offer is really good and there's an urgency behind it because it's limited. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a 10% of these people writing back yes, right? You don't need to worry about bugging people. You just need to focus on the ones that do say yes and to start with that conversation with them as soon as they reply yes. So this is really the easiest way to reactivate your old patients. The best part is there's no advertising spend, right? So if you're contacting 100 people from your past patients and you give them this message, 10% are gonna say yes. So 10 people are gonna say yes, and then you can start scheduling these guys for the next week. So I hope you found this valuable, and if you want to go further and get a checklist of all the things that I've mentioned here, you can go to directaccessmarketers.com/checklist. And in this checklist, you're going to find how to double your new patient leads online. You're going to find out how to get your, digital marketing strategy right? Everything that you need, all the modern strategies that are already working for all the other top physical therapists out there, you're going to find it in this checklist. You're going to learn why your website is not ranking, and you're going to ultimately find out how to get better results. So feel free to check that out.